I taught at a school for a little while. Like I taught electronic music production at a school for a few years, in that process. That's where I actually, oddly enough, that's where I met Tyler, the creator. He was one of my students in my electronic music class. And
Hello. Okay, so you're saying that you made Tyler the creator. That's what you're saying. Wow.
No. He was already, he was already super dope back then. Like he was already shooting like his own music videos and doing stuff that I didn't even know how to do.
I mean, what was that like as like a teacher student relationship where you're just seeing this dude being just incredible? How do you even did you just let him do his thing? I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. I mean, really, that's what it was. It was like, you just provide. It was one of those situations where you provide guidance and not necessarily teach, where you're just kind of showing him like, okay, like you have this incredible skill set. Your mind already works in a way that's kind of built for this already. So it's more of just guidance, like try this instead of doing this, like this, like try something new, like step outside of your comfort zone and do this, use these plugins, try this instrument, try arranging it this way, like those kind of things. Cause he already had the basic fundamentals of creating music down. It was just a matter of pushing him to look outside of his circle, and create things that he wouldn't have necessarily thought of.
Yeah. Speaking of that, who are some musicians that you see kind of looking from the outside who get it, who get this new world? Because there's so many. I mean, I think being a musician has always been the hardest creative field to actually make a job. And both of us have I guess failed, right? We're not musicians right now. Like I wasn't going to say that, but hey, I thought I was going to like tour with Paramore or something. I thought I was going to be like a freaking rock star, guys. And I'm making tech YouTube videos, but I'm so interested in that world. And I'm sure you are too. And who are some people that you think are just crushing it, and what are they doing that's unique? Because I'm sure there's so many people also who listen to this pod who maybe want to make music their job, but it's tough getting those Spotify streams, getting the 25-cent checks for a couple thousand streams. It's tough out there.
I have such a beef with streaming music, but let's not even get into that.
It could be a whole other podcast.
But I think honestly, it's a totally different podcast. I don't think there's anybody in particular that's really popping out to me that's doing anything that's crazy. I think that it's more of like you just have the ability to do so much more now on your own and really kind of create your own sort of wave, for lack of a better word. Like, even though like I was able to record myself back then, we didn't really have distribution. Like there was no SoundCloud back then. There was no Spotify or Apple Music. It was like you burn a CD and give somebody a CD that wants to listen to your music. There were MP3s, but like everyone didn't have a place to play MP3s at the time, or AAC if you had an iPod. Like no one had that ability back then. It was all like you put a CD into your machine. So yeah, and it was hard to get music to people back then. Now you can send somebody a link and they can listen to your whole album. Back then, if you send somebody a link to listen to your whole album, it would take them a day to just download the album, first of all.
Lots of friction.
Because the internet was so slow.
Yeah.
So I would say for people that today, like, just ride your own wave. You have the ability to create. You can shoot a music video using your phone. Like you can record with your phone. Like you can do everything really to create an entire album. You can create Photoshop. You can do the pictures. You can Photoshop the pictures. You could shoot the music video. You can create the music. You can record the music. You can, mix and master the music. It won't be perfect, but it'll be better than anything that I could have done 10 years ago. So you have the power in your hands. You can create an Instagram, Twitter, you can create a SoundCloud, you can create a Snap. You can do all of those things now. You have all of that power in your hands. It's a matter of you creating good music and marketing yourself. So if anything, maybe take some marketing classes about how to get yourself out there and how to get the music out there.
And it's almost like we're all playing a very similar game, whether you're a YouTuber or a musician. Really, we're all using very similar channels, whether it's YouTube, and again, I know people hate saying the word content, but we're all just out here creating the content. It's a little different if you're a musician, but it's crazy to see creating the content, but it's crazy to also see all of these musicians and how they're playing a show in Fortnite. They're doing a collab with McDonald's. They have their own, it's not merch, but it's a streetwear brand, right? And essentially we're all just our own little hubs of business and influence, and it's really like you kind of have to do a little bit of everything, and that's intimidating to people, right? But I think it increases in startup world, they always talk about what's your moat. Okay, you made a product, but what's going to make Johnny over there not just copy your product? So you have to build that moat, whether it's your personality or it's a really special program that no one else can code. And I think, the musicians who are succeeding, they are building that moat, because they're not just in Fortnite, but maybe they're streaming and they're doing all these things. It's crazy to watch. It's fascinating to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we're perfect. I think we're a perfect example of that, because we have to do everything. Like, we've made it to a point now where we're lucky enough that we can hire people to help us. But there was a period, I'm 10 years in, eight of those years, it was just me. And like, I was shooting, I was editing, I was lighting, I was ideating, I was, creating the music. I was doing everything on my own. So, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. I needed to learn Photoshop. I still suck at it, but I'm okay. I can do enough to get things done. I had to teach myself to edit. I had to watch YouTube videos. I had to download Ripple training tutorials. I had to download tutorials from Mac Pro Video and go through and learn all these things and make mistakes. I had to learn how to use all of these different programs in order for me to be where I am today. So like, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Like, don't be like, oh, well, I just make music. I'm an artist and all I can do,
like a purist.
All I do is sing. All I do is sing. Yeah, all I do is sing. That is my gift. Like, okay, that's cool. And some people can make it that way. Some people do, but for most of us, you have to sing, but you also have to produce, and you have to learn how to mix and master. And you also need to learn how to upload to Spotify, and you also need to learn how to upload to SoundCloud, and you also need to look at analytics. So
and I recently listened to,
God bless you if you can sing.
Yeah, exactly. I recently listened to a podcast with Tim Ferriss and Sia, and she was talking about the logistics of the recording business, and kind of once you get to a certain point of success, you can pick and choose, right, what you want to do. And it was so fascinating to hear her explain that, okay, the difference between writing the melody, but then also writing the lyrics to that melody is a completely different thing, and how they split on publishing and the 50-50 and the lane that she's carved out for herself. It was a fascinating listen. I'll link it in the show notes below. But she is someone who has done so much, whether it's writing, being her own musician, but also like keeping her anonymity. Is that a word? Keeping her, because very rarely do you see her face.
Anonymity, yeah.
I think that's a word, right? Sorry, I'm just talking about a ton of musicians, but it's been cool to see people's journeys, and truly in the beginning, you have to do it all.